Mm-mm-mm. Yes. Yes. I'm gonna pop out with the lo-fi for a second. Shalom. Shalom, King. So I jumped in here early. I was supposed to set a timer on when I was gonna go by, and I'm not sure because I didn't know exactly when I was gonna start it out. I like tune. Shalom, King. Keep it going. Shalom. You know what? You know what we should do? I've been wanting to do this for a while. Let me stop. I'm feeling the music though. I'm gonna stop. What I was gonna say was what we should do on our camps, like street teaching, we should pull that up, screen share it, and watch it together and like break down certain, like an excitement or like something crazy to happen, or just certain key points to have in that camp.
Oh, video.
Yeah, it'd be like watching film. Right. Get them right now. I don't think a lot of brothers know that either. Like, that's a be there. You
That's
know,
what
we explain. Yeah.
Hey, if I ain't gonna lie, make it even in the world, like nigga, when you play sports and you watch it, you go over film, that's gonna be a way better athlete. You'll be on a different level than that little don't watch it. Just going over video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes we go live and we connect two of the channels. That's why it'd be like different chats. But today I just went live on this channel. Okay. I mess with the music. Can y'all hear us good though, even though the music in the background? Alright, shalom. Malachi was telling me we should go over, bring that precept out you showed me. All right. First and foremost, we're going to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh. The title of the lesson is Through the Spirit. We really don't got a whole lot on nothing. We're just gonna kind of play it by ear and see, see how it go. But you can bring that precept out for sure.
This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 16, and verse 18. Then answered one of the servants and said, Behold, I have seen a son of Jesse the Bethlehemite that is cunning in playing, and a mighty valiant man, and a man of war, and prudent in matters, and a comely person, and the Lord is with him.
Touch on something else.
So, okay, let's deal with it. We got first they said he's cunning in playing, so he's talented. He has a skill set. He got talent. He know how to play well on the harp. Exactly. And he's a mighty valiant man. You know, he ain't no scrub. He ain't nobody to be messed with. Nobody to play around with.
He not a pushover.
Right. He's a man of war, so he know how to get down when it's time to get down. A lot of brothers You know, they don't understand the balance of, you gotta be able to get down when it's time to get down, bro. You can be wise and all of that, all you want to. And if you ask me, that's going into wisdom. How are you fearing God if you're not preparing yourself to be able to get down when it's time to get down? You sitting up here, you ain't did 10 push-ups, you can't even walk up a flight of steps. If you're telling me you can defend yourself and your family, I'm really on the brother's head right now. With the aqua, get yourself in some type of shape, sis. It's important. And what's the one in Iraq? Let's stay on this right.
Hebrew daughter asked the question. She said, Captain the Bar brought out that we are to pray after we eat. Yeah, it's in like Deuteronomy. I want to say like chapter 8. I'll try and find it real quick. Let me see if I can find this really quick. It's been so long. Okay, give me a minute. You can bring it out though. I'm gonna try and find this real quick.
So he's a cunning and plain. It's the kind of brother you want to be. He's cunning and plain, and a mighty valiant man, and a man of war, so he's trained. He's skilled in war. He can get out when it's time to get out. He's prudent in matters. I mean, he's handling his business. He's on top of things. He's not running around aimlessly. He probably got a list of how he gonna go about his day. He moving like that. He moving in wisdom. He got all his bills paid on time. He got the car note. He got everything lined up. He's prudent in matter. He know he got experience. He see things afar off. See what I'm saying? It's the kind of brother you gotta be. Or you're gonna struggle. It's either you're gonna be on this side or you're gonna be on that side. You know what I'm saying? You gotta use wisdom.
How it's so powerful how the scriptures divide how it described King David. That's what I was trying to say. How he described King David. He lists off mighty characteristics. He's cunning. He's prudent in affairs. He's prudent in matters. He's mighty in war. He was comely. Comely goes into you fair or you beautiful. King David was probably had a eloquent speech, eloquent tongue. You know, he had songs. He had good friends. I mean, he had people who was ready to die for him. You know you a powerful brother when people are willing to lay their life down for you. Hey, grab that in Matthew. No, grab John 15 and 13, not Matthew. Man, people was ready to die, not just because he was the king, but because they really loved him as a person. Of course, you're going to go do what the king say, but I'm saying before he was even a king, you had Jonathan risking his life for him. Before he was even king, you had Judites following him wherever he was going. You can bring that out.
This is the book of John, chapter 15, verse 13. Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
There's no greater love than that, than to lay down your life for your brother.
They loved this brother.
They loved David. David was somebody you could tell. He was just like that. He was like that. But this is the brother of Melodic Tunes. This was actually the preset. Yeah, I believe that Dawad does mean David. It goes back to Dawad. Adhering, don't it mean beloved? Khan. Hey, beloved. Everybody loved him. Everybody loved David. I'm not gonna say everybody, but he definitely had. Get that scripture that says, "Get thee the love of the congregation." It's on Sirach. It's on Sirach. You can use your phone. And I'll read this real quick. This is the precept that I was looking for. Deuteronomy 8 and 10. To answer this question that Hebrew daughter asked about. So, or at least this is how I was raised, that you must pray before you eat. You can. It's not a sin if you do that. It's not wrong to do that. Like, I would advise to do that. You're not going off. But a lot of people use this scripture and teach this scripture on this wise. So Deuteronomy 8 and 10, it says, when thou hast eaten and art full, then thou shalt bless the Lord thy God for the good land which he hath given thee. So once you've eaten, this is actually going, if you keep in the context, he's talking about, of course, food that you get. It's talking about whenever you get all your crops going, you got your increases is waxing mighty. So once you get all of that, you're gonna eat and you're gonna wax mighty, and then you're gonna bless the Lord. You're gonna say the water your Howard. You're gonna give thanks to the Most High God for blessing you with the resources, like land, crops, seeds, laborers, whatever it might take. But yeah, you can use the scripture to say, yeah, you should pray after you eat, and thank the Most High God. Go ahead, King.
Con, there's a couple scriptures in the New Testament where it speaks about giving thanks before you eat as well. Luke 22 and 2019, it says, and he took bread and gave thanks and brake it and gave it unto them, saying, this is my body which is given for you. This doing remembrance of me. And I think this is going over Passover. But then you got one in Acts 27 and 35. It says, and when he had thus spoken, he took bread and gave thanks to God in the presence of them all. And when he had broken it, he began to eat. And I think it's another precept where, right here, Mark 8 and 6, it says, and he commanded the people to sit down on the ground, and he took the 7 loaves and gave thanks and brake it and gave to his disciples that sat before him, and they did set them before the people. So it's multiple scriptures going over giving thanks before you eat, and then there's scriptures giving thanks after you eat, because I remember when I came into the truth, I was hearing like, you're not supposed to give thanks before, you're supposed to do it after. I was like, that ain't hitting my spirit. But you could go either way, like Mohar said. That's all.
God. Hey, the main thing, if you really want to get down through there, is just give thanks. Khan, let's see what else comments we got. Khan, all praise to the Most High. Colossians 2 and 16 cut. Shalom, we got the captain on deck. Shalom. Warrior Howard. Shalom, King. I don't know if I ever seen you in the chat before, but shalom. Good to have you. Did you find that precept?
Yes, sir.
My God.
This the book of Sirach. This the book of Sirach, chapter 4 and verse 7. Get thyself the love of the congregation and bow thyself. Get thyself the love of the congregation and bow thy head to a great man.
So like to read it again, I was reading this precept. I can't multitask.
Sirach chapter 4 and verse 7. Get thyself the love of the congregation and bow thy head to a great man.
God, so this is wise right there, to get the love of the congregation. You want to be loved by people. You want to go to Ecclesiastes chapter 7 real quick. And I want to go into this account. This is where the Spirit kind of got us going into kind of King David. King David was mighty. It's a reason why, brothers. It's a reason why the Lord said his bloodline was always going to be sitting on the throne. Go ahead, though.
7:1. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 1. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth.
That's how important it is to have a good name. Go to Proverbs 22 and 1. It says a good name is better than precious ointment. Ointment was used a lot. We use the ointment a lot. You can use it for healing. I think that was a big thing. We would preserve. We would use different things like cinnamon. You can read about it in Genesis 50, I believe, or 50, 50, how we would use that to preserve our ancestors. Whenever we bury them, we would put these different preservatives on them. Ointment is important. That's a household item you gotta have. But it says a good name is better than that. Read that though. That's the one I really want.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 1. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches.
So a good name is better than any kind of money.
And loving favor rather than silver and gold.
So that kind of favor, loving favor, where brothers, you gotta, this is, I don't know if brothers are aware of this. You can read about it in the book of Tobit. It was an angel, and he said that he was it Azaniah or Azariah? It was Azariah. He said he came from this household, and Tobiel, his father, I believe, or Tobias, excuse me, I'm getting the names mixed up. He said, oh yeah, you come from a good stock. You come from a good stock. I know that I can trust you. It's good. You want your family, that's what it's about. That's what Esau is about. You got notable households and families. These rich men, Rothschilds, Rockefeller, they have notable names. They inward part, the scriptures say they inward parts that they gonna stay forever. They gonna live forever, and they always gonna be on top. We know that's not gonna happen. But our mentality in the ancient world was to build up our households, to build up our legacy, right? To build up our nation, our family name. That was a big thing. Like the whole house of David. If you come from the house of David, just that being a member of that household name, you're gonna be respected. That was a thing we always had, even up until Christ. We had those. If you come from the Maccabees family and his lineage, oh, you're getting respected. Right? So these different things actually are important. You want to build, you come from this household, you want people to actually respect that, and you earned your trust. Your family earned trust. Y'all have generations of solid young men, solid elderly men. Children are being taught right. Like me and Adhering talked about this. If our when we have kids, of course I would want to give one of my daughters to Adhering, and vice versa. Why? Because I know he gonna train up his children in the way they supposed to go. I know that. I can trust in that. I know he gonna build his family up like that. Go ahead.
Real quick, just a quick disclaimer, because the way you said it, I know people might think that's weird. He's talking about give his daughter to my son, not
there we
me.
Go.
You got it. Go ahead.
I kind of missed the whole son part, huh?
What's the Abraham going to house?
It's probably Genesis chapter 17. I know what you talk. It crossed my mind whenever I said it too. It should be 17. Or it might be 26. So like, we're looking for a precept. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's 18. Okay. Yeah.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 18 and verse 19. Well, I'm going to start at 17. And the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. So he's going into how Abraham is going to have children, and his children is going to become a great and mighty nation. Why? For I know him that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord.
And they shall what?
And they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him.
He said, I know he's going to command his children and his household in the way they're supposed to go. It's important to have that family name, to have a righteous head, a righteous leader over the household, who lead in his household in the way they're supposed to go. That's mighty. That's very, 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 very mighty. That was an important thing. Knowing you want to have that beautiful name. Tying it all back to King David, I want to go back. I want to go into this. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 18. Shoot, we might just 1 Samuel chapter 18 is a beautiful chapter. Let's read from the top. I'm not in a rush. But the whole point of why I went to chapter 18 is to show you how King David how he behaved himself, how he was prudent in affairs. He was mighty and valiant when it came to war. He was beloved of the people. They wanted King David. They wanted David to be the king. They was ready for that. But let's start from the top.
It's saying, look at 1 Samuel chapter 18. And it came to pass when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David. And Jonathan loved him as his own soul.
So Jonathan loved King David like he loved himself. They was best friends, literally. It says that their souls were knitted together. Think about that. He said they spirits, they souls were woven and knitted together, man. They was one. You could even damn near say they was one flesh. They was operating like that. Not on no homosexual kind of way though, of course. But let's keep reading because it says something else.
And Saul took him that day and would let him go no more home to his father's house.
So Saul took King David, and he wanted King David, because this is right after the battle with Goliath. He was impressed with David. Right? This is before Saul started hating David. But he was impressed with David. He seen he was industrious, he was wise, he was mighty. He had the faith of a damn, I don't know, the Lord. But he seen the Lord was with him. He said, I need David to be with me. So he took him away from his father's house and he said, look, you're gonna be next to me. The Lord with you. Now if you with me, the Lord with us. Let's keep reading.
Verse 3. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David, and his garments, even to his sword, and to his bow, and to his girdle.
It said he loved him like his own soul. They made a covenant. Hey, Adhering, tell me why we be talking about this. That one time I had to get my stuff out of storage and we was cleaning the couch. What's your wife say to you?
Oh, she said how I'm a good friend.
Yeah. So yeah, go into that a little bit.
Basically, because my heart needed my help with something, and me and my wife was driving somewhere, and then she was looking at me, and I'm like, "Why are you looking at me?" And she was just like, "You a good friend," and I was just like, "All right." Okay, I wasn't really thinking too much about it, but yeah.
He said, you a good friend. That's because me and Adhering a long time ago, it wasn't on paper, but we made a contract and a covenant. And it was, we're going to be friends forever. That was the contract. That was the covenant. We don't count favors. We don't count. If Adhering need my help, it's not, that's just what it is. That was a part of the contract that I was going to come help him. That was the part of the contract. So me and Adhering, we don't look at it like we're not trying to be good friends. I don't like Adhering like that. I don't look, he's bobbing his head like, yeah, that's true. Let's bring it out. I don't like it like that.
Yeah.
Y'all don't even know.
Speaking facts.
This is hot. But that's the part of the covenant. That's the part of the contract. I got to deal with that. I got to deal with that. He need my help. All right. But that's how they had a covenant. It said they had a covenant. They had a contract. And that contract was, I'm going to be there. I'm your brother. I'm your friend. Even when I don't want to be there, I'm going to be there. A friendship, everybody say they want a friend, they want a best friend. Bro, it take work. It take time. Sometimes you don't want to do stuff. It's not, it's not what you think. What you got? Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be back, family. Oh,
Okay. No, that's good. All right. I'm gonna keep reading on this. So we at 1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 5. It says, and David went out whithersoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the men of war, and he was accepted in the sight of the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servant. So immediately, Saul was sending him out to go handle his business throughout the city, throughout the kingdom. And it says, King David, he always behaved himself wisely. He was always on, he wasn't making a fool of himself. You know, he was showing compassion when he needed to show compassion. He was showing mercy when he needed to show mercy. He was being cutthroat when he needed to be cutthroat. It says King David, let's get Psalms, or excuse me, let's get Isaiah chapter, what is that? 45 and 4. Go to Isaiah 45 and 4. King David was known for being mercy. Even though he was a valiant man of war, he was known for being merciful. Now look at that balance right there. Hey, tell me that, say that proverb you said earlier to me. You said balance and you said walk. You said spiritual stuff.
Ah, that was your proverb. It was in the old chat.
I said that.
Yeah, that was you.
I thought you made that up.
Nah, that was you. It was it now.
Yeah, that was hot.
That was you.
I didn't say nothing. That was good. Shalom, we got Officer Kyle in the chat. Shalom, we got Unique in here. Shalom. We got the bar on deck. Shalom. He said, a friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Hey, the scriptures, when you go read Sirach, the 6th chapter, it tells you a good friend is the medicine of life. And now you got to deal with that.
I'm going to try to paraphrase.
Yeah.
So you said all man needs balance to stand and to walk. How much more the spiritual man?
You got to say it
I'm going to say it one more time.
That was hot.
The carnal man, the world, even worldly people, they need balance in order to stand and to walk. You need balance to stand on your feet and walk. And he said, how much more the spiritual man?
The spiritual man, he has to be balanced. He got to be balanced. That's how you're going to perform. That's how you're going to be able to walk in wisdom. A spiritual man has to be balanced to be able to stand for justice and to be able to walk in wisdom. You got to be balanced. And King David, he was a hell of a man. You know how in the world they're like, he's twice the man I am. That was King David. That was King David. He was twice the man I am. He had stuff figured out. He knew how to be merciful, and he knew how not to be merciful. He knew when to do them things. Yeah, grab it.
We brought this out a little early. We're going to bring it out again. This 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 17. And Saul said unto his servants, provide me now a man that can play well and bring him to me. Verse 18. Then answered one of the servants and said, behold, I have seen a son of Jesse the Bethlehemite that is cunning in playing, and a mighty valiant man, and a man of war, and prudent in matters, and a comely person, and the Lord is with him. That's a hell of a man, right?
That's a hell of a man.
That's the kind of body you want to be.
Comely, prudent in matters, be walking in wisdom, be valiant in war, be merciful. How do you even, he got the package. I want that kind of person to rule over me, to be the king over our nation, for sure. He balanced. He not too weak and soft where he not gonna go make war against our enemies, and he not too strong and bold and prideful, and not considering that, you know, he got that balance. He got that balance. He know when it's a time to do this and when it's a time to not do this. I'm gonna keep reading on this First Samuel. You missed this verse. I'm gonna read it again. First Samuel chapter 18 and 5, it says, and David went out whithersoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the men of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants. So immediately he got promoted to top dog. He got promoted to head honcho, and everybody wasn't envying. Everybody wasn't jealous. They didn't hate him. They seen the Lord set him up there, and everybody bowed they heart and said, "Khan." Everybody agreed with that. It says, and it came to pass as they came when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, that the women came out of all the cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet King Saul with tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music. So as soon as King David slew Goliath, I keep saying King David.
King David, it is. Bro.
He wasn't a king yet.
You said what you said, bro.
He wasn't a king yet. He was born a king. Now that's a cut. Now I got to deal with it. He said he was born a king. Bro, as soon as David killed Goliath, I mean, this is young David. Let's be honest. Young David. He was supposed to just go and get his brother's provisions. He was just supposed to get his brothers the cheese. And so he was supposed to get him some bread, some food. And he was out there like, nah, I'm finna fight. He wasn't supposed to be doing that. He's supposed to be get back home. He's supposed to go to A to B and go back home to C and take care of the sheep.
Who is this Philistine?
Yeah, he said, he started cursing him. He's small. He didn't even have armor on. He didn't have armor on. He wanted to go do it though. All right, verse 6. They coming out with music. David just got a victory. The children of Israel got a victory, and we turning up. When you got women coming out, they singing, making songs. Let's keep reading. And the women answered one another as they played and said, Saul have slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. David killed one guy. But now this is what it's about. He getting glorified. They said, like, Saul, he killing thousands, but David killing 10,000s. You know how Jake is. Jake beat one person up, and you know now his name is magnified. Bro, I be whooping niggas. Everybody can get it. You know, we throw extra salt on it. Bro, boy.
You seen what he did to what's his name?
Boy. But this is mighty though. I mean, you killed a Philistine, a giant, and you a young lad. Verse 8. And Saul was very wroth. Watch this. This is a key point. This is the turning point. And Saul was very wroth. Why are you mad? Let's see. And the saying displeased him, and he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000, and to me they have ascribed but thousands. And what can he have more but the king? If only you knew. So when they seen King David, when he heard that song that the ladies were singing, everybody was singing around the damn camp. Everybody was singing in Jerusalem. Everybody's singing this. It displeased him. He didn't like it. And you know why? Because of jealousy. That jealousy jumped on his spirit. He didn't know how to deal with it. What do you mean? I only killed thousands and King David killed 10,000s. Brother, it's not good to compare stuff like that. You're gonna take yourself down the wrong street. You're gonna take yourself down the wrong street. It says, and Saul eyed David from that day forward. And when it says eyed, it wasn't a good eye. It was an envious eye. I hate you eye. It was a you gonna die eye. It's hatred in his eyes now. The curses of Deuteronomy that your eye was going to be evil towards your brother. That's what it's going into. Even though King David didn't do anything wrong. Did King David do anything wrong? Hell no. But now that jealous spirit jumped on Saul, and he didn't know how to fight it off. He didn't know how to combat it. He didn't know how to deal with it. He wanted to be the top dog and the top guy. And that pride and that jealousy and that greed and wanting to be the number one guy, David did nothing wrong. All he did, he saved the nation of Israel, and you now you hate him. That's madness. That's how dangerous jealousy is. You'll hate somebody and they didn't do anything wrong. You'll not like somebody and they didn't do anything wrong. You'll be angry with somebody and they didn't do anything wrong. And it's all because of jealousy and envy. And you not being able to cut down them demons that jumped on you. That's the truth. I mean, these are mighty men and they fell victim. The king of Israel fell victim to jealousy. What you got?
Proverbs 14 and 30.
Who can stand before envy? Okay, go ahead. No, bring it up.
This is Proverbs 14 and 30. A sound heart, the heart is your mind. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of the bones.
But what?
But envy is the rottenness of the bones.
Wanting what another person have, it's the rottenness of bone. When things are rotting, they're decaying. They're getting broken down. They're being destroyed.
Slowly destroyed.
Yep, slowly. Just like rust. It slowly but surely takes over that metal. That's the same thing with envy and jealousy. If you don't check it, if you don't put it off of you, if you don't clean your spirit up, slowly but surely, your spirit gonna start decaying. Go ahead.
This is the book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 2. It say, for wrath killeth the foolish man.
Wrath kills foolish men. You can't. This is why me and Adhering teach this so hard. Men cannot afford to make mistakes based off of their emotions, because people die when that happens. If I get angry and I don't control myself, people are going to get hurt. People are not going to be on earth no more. That's why men can't. Women, they make irrational decisions off emotions all day. Hey, just how people say, this was a proverb in the world. Do the drug, don't let the drug do you. And now we're taking this to the next level. Control your emotions. Do not let your emotions control you. And it's hard for men to do that. But it's even harder for women to do that because they have more emotions. So y'all got to work even harder. Y'all got to work even harder. That should be one of your top goals as a woman, to be able to control your emotions. I'm telling you, if y'all learn how to control your emotions, y'all gonna have double the peace. This is hot. Captain the bar, this is hot. All right, finish your precept.
This Job 5 and 2. For wrath killeth the foolish man, and envy slayeth the silly one. Envy kills you.
It said the silly one.
You silly. You're gonna die.
Envy slayeth the silly one. You can't fall victim. You got to make sure you don't fall victim to these things. The Bible isn't just saying this just so you can read it and say, look, oh, that makes sense.
Right.
That's not why it's there. It's there so you can start applying it to your life. These examples, like King Saul, it's not here. It's not just a good story. It's you learn from this. Apply this to your life. This is reality. The end of King Saul, not good.
Oh, I remember what happened.
It was not good. The Lord stopped messing with him. The Lord wasn't dealing with him no more. That was the end of King Saul. The Lord took his spirit away from King Saul. That's what he did. Captain DeBar posted Ecclesiasticus, also known as the Book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 9. It says, why is earth and ashes proud? We're on the bottom. We're just men. Even if you're a man of high degree in stature, you make a lot of money, you're well known, you're actually tall, you know, you got status. Even still, you're just a man. So why are you proud? The Lord describes a man day as, or excuse me, the Lord describes a man's life as a blade of grass. It's here one day, then the next day is gone. There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such an one setteth his own soul to sale, because while he liveth, he cast away his bowels. And this is the truth. A covetous man, the scriptures say, there's nothing worse than that. There's nothing more wicked, because he's going to do anything. He'll cross any line, all because he want what you got. All because he's not satisfied with his portion and his plate. The scriptures go in great detail to talk about a covetous man and gives multiple examples of covetousness, of envy, of jealousy. It really does. We gotta really pay attention, because if not, you're gonna lose everything you have, and you're gonna lose everything the Most High gave you, man. I mean, spiritually and physically. It says, while he liveth, he cast away his bowels. The things, you can look at this verse a lot of ways. I heard brothers break it down in a lot of powerful ways. But that last part, it says, for such an one setteth his own soul to sale. I think about this. All of the principles of life, the righteous characteristics, the values and morals. Whenever you have a covetous man, a man who wants money, riches, and fame, and want what you have, he'll cast away all the morals in the world, all of the virtues in the world, all of the upright, just characteristics out there. He'll set his own soul for sale. It says, because while he liveth, he cast away his bowels. And the bowels, it goes into the weightier things. So your bowels, we know on a physical level, it represents your stomach. Your bowels represent your stomach. But your stomach, one of the main jobs is the digestive system. It digests food, and you got to get the nutrients out of that food. It breaks down food. But look, on a spiritual level, your bowels represent your mind, because just how your stomach breaks down food and it gets nutrients, that's what your mind does. It breaks down words, it breaks down wise sentences, it breaks down dark sayings, it breaks down parables. It goes into your mind, you try it, you make sense of it. Hey, the good things you keep, and you keep them with you. Those are the nutrients. The bad stuff, guess what? It goes out the other ear, and you spit them out. That's the same thing your digestive system do. It breaks down the food, it gets those nutrients, and then whatever is bad, it secretes it. And you know what that is, right? SHIT. Go ahead, Adhering. I can tell you got something you want to bring out.
Con, I got a Clement, and it's kind of touching on the same subject, going over jealousy, and it's going to speak on King David. This is Clement, the epistle of Clement to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 18. It says, ye see, brethren, how envy and jealousy led to the murder of a brother. He's speaking about Cain and Abel. It says, through envy also our father Jacob fled from the face of Esau his brother. Envy made Joseph to be persecuted unto death and to come into bondage. And what we were speaking about is how jealousy arises against people who do no evil, right? This comes to pass against people who do no evil, who do no harm. They only doing good. Same thing that happened to Joseph. Joseph was just loved by his father. That's all that happened. And his brothers sold him into captivity for it. There was no reason for that, right? But I'm gonna keep reading. It says, envy compelled Moses to flee from the face of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, when he heard these words from his fellow countrymen. Who made thee a judge or a ruler over us? Wilt thou kill me as thou didst kill the Egyptian yesterday? Right? You got these Hebrews that were jealous of Moses because Moses actually put his foot down. Moses did what these niggas dreamed of doing. but they never did it, right? And that's
Yeah.
why they was upset. And they said, "Well, you killed me as thou didst the Egyptian." And Moses had to flee Egypt because if they would have told, Moses would have died, right? It says, on account of envy, Aaron and Miriam had to take their abode without the camp. Remember anything in Numbers, Aaron and Miriam, chiefly Miriam, caught leprosy and had to get outside the camp. Why? Because they considered themselves to be prophets as well, and they were jealous of Moses, right? And then God had to hit the scene and say, if surely if there's a prophet among you, I'll appear unto him in a dream or in a vision, right? But the Most High God, like, I chose Moses for this job. But Aaron and Miriam popped up, and guess what they was talking about? The first thing they spoke on was an Ethiopian woman, right? They spoke on the Ethiopian woman as if that was the problem, when that wasn't the problem. Go ahead.
I would like to say that I've been gaining more experience when it comes to dealing with jealousy. And this is one of the things that I noticed when dealing with that demon. And this is for edification. Listen to what I'm going to say. When someone is feeling that when that jealousy spirit jumps on someone's spirit, if you don't deal with it appropriately and take care of business and acknowledge it, pray about it, and understand why you got jealous. If you don't do that, this is what's going to end up happening. Just what happened. This is in the scriptures. Miriam and Aaron, they got jealous over Moses' position. And instead of dealing with that spirit that they had on them, they tried to divert and blame it on something else. They tried to say, they tried to not acknowledge jealousy, and they say, this is about Moses having a damn Egyptian wife. And I noticed this time and time again. I'm telling you, time and time again, when someone gets jealous, instead of dealing with the real problem, jealousy, they try to point out other shit that you doing wrong or just anything else to blame it on instead of actually dealing with the real problem. They don't want to deal with the problem. That spirit of jealousy, it wants to creep up inside of your spirit and make a fat home inside of you. And it wants to lurk in the shadows. And if you don't shed light on it, it's going to grow. It's going to fester in darkness and in evil. And by the time you notice it and trying to address it, it's going to be too big. It's going to be too strong. It's going to be too mighty. He's going to be there too hard. He already didn't grew too big. Address the jealousy, acknowledge it. It is what it is, and try and get that shit out of your spirit ASAP. ASAP. I'm telling. I yield with that though. So like, I had to get in there. So like,
Con, you straight. You straight. That account of Aaron and Miriam getting jealous over Moses is Numbers 12. But um, it says, on an account of envy, Aaron and Miriam had to make their abode without the camp. Envy brought down Dathan and Abiram alive to Hades. This was written in Greek. In Hebrew, it's talking about Sheol. It says, through the sedition which they excited against God's servant Moses. So they were jealous of Moses' position as well. They wanted to be priest and high priest, and they wanted to do everything that Aaron and Moses was doing. And that wasn't their role, that wasn't their job, right? Mind you, all of these things are happening, and Moses didn't do anything.
he didn't do nothing wrong.
Moses actually argued against God with his position. He said, maybe you should have Aaron do it. Maybe you got to choose somebody. Moses didn't want this position, but he was chosen to have that position, so he had the position. But yet they find themselves in jealousy, envy, as if they could do it, right? Let's keep reading. It says, through envy, David underwent the hatred not only of foreigners, but was also persecuted by Saul, king of Israel. So even jealousy is also amongst your enemies of other nations. So David was persecuted by them as well. He's a mighty man. But not only that, David was persecuted by his own damn king because of jealousy. David didn't do anything wrong, right? But I just wanted to read that. That's it.
Appreciate it.
Bring it up.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 13 and verse 4. It says, the soul of the sluggard desireth and hath nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat. And that make me think of first off, that's going into is Like you got a lazy person or a person who just don't put his hand to the plow. He don't put the work in necessary to have what he wants. And he, it say, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat. So the soul of the person who works hard is gonna have plenty. But I brought this out to say, while we on the topic of envy, it's a lot of people that can sit and become envious of another brother for what he's doing, what he's achieving, what he's receiving. But brother, you, like they say in the world, everybody got the same 24 hours, man. You mad because he bringing out a lot of precepts. Have you been practicing your precepts? Have you been studying as hard as that brother? Why you letting that envy grow in your spirit? Have you envious about this? Have you been working on yourself? It's another proverb in the world. You should be working so hard on what you're doing that you don't even got time to worry about what another person is doing. You should be so in your bag and focused on what you're working on. You don't even got time to hate on nobody else.
That's hot, man. Being hateful, being jealous. I'm telling you, it takes so much out of your spirit. It takes so much damn work. It's draining. It's tiring. It's exhausting. But to be persecuted by the king, by the king of Israel,
that's crazy.
He's trying to hunt David down. David was on the run because of jealousy.
Shalom, Amanah.
Shalom, Amanah.
Brother.
Khan, Shalom. I mean, picture this. You're getting attacked. You have a bounty on your head. You became a fugitive in your own. He brung you from look, this is the Saul made David leave his household to come be with him. He asked for this. You wanted me to be next to you. And now you jealous. You set me in this position. You told me to be over your armies. And now you want to kill me? I didn't do anything wrong. Now King David is on the run.
Envy. Tell me another small point.
Yeah.
Bro, and that's like he hating on David for all of the glory that he got and all of this and that. But David had faith. David went down there and locked with Goliath. You didn't do that. You don't like what you mad for. He deserves that.
Yeah, he deserved it.
He had that much faith. He had that much valor. He was on that. You wasn't on that. You can't get mad at that. Work harder. You should have went down there.
You should have went down there.
Hey, but that's the problem. That's just like I had mentioned. How Moses had did the very thing that these niggas dreamed to do. Yeah. David did it. Moses did it. These mighty men, they did the stuff that everybody hoped they wish they could do. And the fact that they see them do it, it creates a hatred inside. It's like, bro, I could have did that. Nigga, but you didn't. You didn't.
Why you didn't do it?
That's the point. You couldn't do it. You didn't. The Lord probably set up, if you're gonna be honest, I figured this out. The Lord sets up positions for you to do it. And if you don't fulfill that position, somebody else will. That's just, if David didn't fulfill that position, somebody else would have. And we'd be talking about him right now. But David did it. And that creates an anger and it creates a hateful spirit towards somebody because they did the thing that you wish you would have did. And it's like, come on, bro. Because like you just said, Saul was there. Saul was on the scene when Goliath was there. Everybody was there, but everybody was fearful. Everybody was scared except David. Now you put in a position where you hate your brother because he did the thing that you were scared to do. But go ahead.
That's crazy. I be saying this a lot. And I be trying to watch my tongue, but I gotta say it how it's supposed to be said. Real niggas do real shit.
That's right.
That's what it is. That's the breakdown. I'm gonna keep reading on this Samuel though, because it's just hot. Verse 9. We at 1 Samuel 18:9. We got Antoine Ford, Shalom. We got Trey, Shalom King. I haven't seen you in a minute. Shalom, good to have you. We got Luvinia Benjamin, Shalom. We got Shaul Israel. I don't know why, brother. I'm not in charge over the email. Brother should have got with you. Maybe I'll remind one of the brothers to check on that for real. I'm gonna try and remind him today to go do that. So we can try and help you, brother. We got Slimmy Do Thing. Shalom. I ain't seen you in here before. Good to have you. So, anyways, we in 1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 9. It says, "And Saul eyed David from that day forward. And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from God came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played with his hand as at other times, and there was a javelin in Saul's hand." So, mind you, Saul got an evil spirit on him. An evil spirit, jealousy all on his spirit, hatred all on his spirit, envy all on his spirit. And the Lord said it was an evil spirit. And David doing what he normally do. Around this time, David chilling. He not doing anything different. He probably could feel that, something felt off, because David not stupid. He could probably sense what the whole thing. David, I'm not gonna lie, David probably understood everything that was happening with Saul's spirit. He probably sensed it. He probably knew exactly what it was. But hey, that's what can David do? You know what? I'm gonna keep being me. I'm gonna keep doing what I normally do, and we're gonna see what happened. We're gonna let the Most High God take care of it. He probably was just going off the spirit, trying to let the Most High God do what he gonna do. So he was in there doing what he normally do. It said he was playing. He played with his hand, and I believe he was on the harp. Let's keep reading. It says, "And there was a javelin in Saul's hand, and Saul cast the javelin, for he said, I will smite David even to the wall with it. And David avoided out of his presence twice." So you got Saul. He got a javelin in his hand, and in his mind, his spirit is full of envy, wrath, jealousy, hatred, and he take a javelin in his hand, and he see David, and it go through his mind. It's clean against it. He fully persuaded to kill King David, to kill David. He said, I'm finna do away with him. I'm finna put this javelin in him, and the javelin gonna go through David, and he gonna be in a wall. He gonna be stuck right there. Javelin through his heart. But it says King David, look, he knew what was going on. David, a man of war, bro. It wasn't gonna be that easy. What'd he say, bro? I sent you the video, Adhering. Stupid. I'm not gonna let you get the chance. I'm not gonna let you get the chance.
Hey, did you watch that?
Bro, he was the one who first showed it to me. Bro, I could only imagine what kind of move King David did. It was probably silky. It was probably smooth. Who knows? Weave. We don't know if he threw the javelin. We don't know if he just ran up and charged King David and tried to thrust him through. But it says King David, he got up out of there. He made him miss twice. That's hard, bro. That's hard. All because women were singing a song. Now you're trying to kill your brother. Now you got to kill your brother over something
The
that's
scriptures say many have sinned for a small matter.
And the scriptures ain't never lied.
He said the scriptures ain't never lied.
You know how people say you ain't never lied, and the scriptures ain't never lied, bro. Jealousy, all it takes is something small, and it's gonna turn into something big. I'm noticing that. King David had no control over that. Now you want to kill him? You got to really look in. That's in something internal you got to work on. Go ahead, though.
God, this is a precept going into what we talking about. This Proverbs 13 and verse 21. It say, evil pursueth sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid. So I brought out that because the part that say, evil pursueth sinners. Like, it's scriptures that go into how you can be given over to things, and like the Bible was just going into, you know what I'm saying? It was a small thing, but it turned into a big thing. So because you didn't never check that spirit, it grew. Like it's a evil pursueth sinner. The sin is out here looking for you. The demon is coming to get you. So it turned
specifically,
you specifically, with your mindset. But all jokes aside, evil pursueth sinners, bro. So he was at first he was just hating on the cool. Now he just tried to murder David. He just tried to kill this man. I mean, you know,
Look
you
at
got to
this.
check that spirit.
You definitely got to check it. You got to check it. This is Shawab. He dropped the precept earlier, and I knew I wanted to bring it out, but I didn't know when. But this seemed like the right time. Proverbs 6:34. For jealousy is the rage of a man. We see it clearly. If a man don't check that spirit, he gonna end up hurting somebody. He gonna end up killing somebody. It says, therefore, he will not spare in the day of vengeance. So whenever this man really wants to go do it, he's not gonna spare you. If he can't control his emotions, a man is finished. It's over with. He really gonna kill something. It says, he will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. So there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can say. His spirit and his mind already persuaded to go do it. There's no ransom you can give him. There's no amount of money. You can't pay him to calm down. You can't bring him a gift. You trying to get him to calm down. You bring a beautiful woman to him, and he like, nah. Damn. I still want him. I still want his head. I want. He's gonna die. And this is how Saul felt about David. Let's keep reading though. I'm at verse 12. And Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with him and was departed from Saul. And I noticed this. I'm telling you, we in a time of information. As a nation, we're growing with experience. We're building up a nation. You got brothers with multiple wives going through gaining a lot of information as far as jealousy. They come and teach. I mean, you got brothers who actually specialize when it comes to marriage counsels. If you want to learn more, bro, I know some fire brothers who are good when it comes to these kind of situations. I'll shout out Captain Jeremiah from SOJ if y'all seen him before. A brother named Apollos from Mountain of Israel, I believe, or is it Mountain of Israel? Mountain of Israel in Texas. Powerful brothers, powerful brothers who know how to rule their household in righteousness. But these brothers, man, you see a lot of times when it comes to jealousy, there is fear there. A lot of times when you're dealing with the spirit of this is why the spirit of jealousy is so strong, because you're not just dealing with one thing. Jealousy is like a combination. It'll pull out all kind of different spirits out of his bag. At any time, a jealous man can be angry. At any time, a jealous man can be sad. At any time, it can be fuel. It can be getting fuel and nutrients from insecurities. A lot of times, women are super jealous because they're insecure with their own selves. So guess what? This is why jealousy is so strong. You're dealing with anger. You're dealing with the insecurities. You're dealing with the fear. You're dealing with competitions and wanting to be better. You're dealing with it's a crock pot full of demons.
It's like it. Brothers too, not just
for sure.
Not just married women.
For sure. We see it right there.
It's right in there.
And you see one of the things that he was afraid of King David. He was afraid to lose his kingdom and being the man and being that guy. So he thought that it would have been this was his wise counsel. Let me just get him out of here.
Smoke this nigga, man.
And I ain't gotta worry about it no more. You want to bring something out, or are you looking for it?
What's happening?
You want to bring something out, or are you looking for it?
No, I'm looking for something.
Okay. Verse 12, it says, and Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with him and was departed from Saul. Read for me. You at Samuel?
No.
Okay, go to 1 Samuel 18 and verse 13. Hey man, we breaking a lot of bread today. This is a good lesson. Well, this is all off the spirit too. This is beautiful. All right, you can start at verse 13.
Book of 1 Samuel, chapter 18, verse 13. Therefore Saul removed from him and made him his captain over 1,000. And he went out and came in before the people.
Mm-hmm.
And David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and the Lord was with him.
So David had to play the part. He knew that Saul had a fat demon on him. He knew that Saul was the king. Ain't nobody gonna go against him. What can you do? It's not like you can take the king to court and say he tried to kill me, even though it was probably Who knows? It could have been witnesses, but ain't nobody gonna speak up against it. Guess what? King David had to swallow that. He had to deal with that. What you gonna do? King David had to be wise. He had to play the part. He had to stay low key, not make any wrong moves, even though he's getting wrongly attacked. He got to be perfect right now. It's important. His life is on the line. Let's keep reading.
Wherefore, when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him.
When he seen that David was even mightier, he was waxing mightier and mightier, and the Lord was with him, he was even more afraid. You can't do nothing. If the Lord be for you, who can be against you? Right? That's Romans chapter 8 and verse 31. If the Lord be for you, then who can be against you? Not even the king. Go ahead.
But all Israel and Judah loved David.
But Israel and Judah loved the hell out of David. That's why it's important to have a beautiful name to represent yourself well on every chance you get. Every chance you get. I'm convinced that King David, even though he was magnified quick overnight, he rose to fame in the nation of Israel overnight. Overnight sensation, if you will. He didn't let that go to his head. I'm persuaded that King David, even though he was rosing up here, he was still being charitable. You know, he still was showing alms. He was probably helping elderly, looking out for the widows. You know, whatever he can do. I'm led to pursue. This is how I see it. I think that how else do you get the love of the congregation of overall? He was well spoken. He spoke peaceably to brothers, softly to brothers, firm with other brothers, and it was respect. It was righteous. Go ahead.
He was a man after the Most High God's own heart. Come on, bro. That's
How
mighty.
do you beat him? How do you
don't
win?
stop that.
He got the Lord buff.
He got the Lord buff.
He got the
Hey,
Lord.
I got a precept.
Okay.
It's out of Clement right now because I don't got my Bible, but Clement's still hard though. You know what I'm saying? Clement's still tough. Epistle of Clement. This is chapter XLV. I don't know that one in
Roman numerals.
Yeah, it's XLV, right? But check this out. It says, "Ye are fond of contention, brethren, and full of zeal." This ain't the part. This ain't the point. Let me go down. It says, "Look carefully into the scriptures, which are the true utterance of the Holy Spirit." It says, "Observe that nothing of an unjust or counterfeit character is written in them." So he's basically saying, look at the scriptures. They're holy. They was inspired, right? It says, "There you will not find that the righteous were cast off by men who themselves were holy." So he says you're gonna find that the righteous men were not cast off by holy men. They were only cast off by unholy men, right? It says the righteous were indeed persecuted, but only by the wicked. They were cast into prison, but only by the unholy. They were stoned, but only by transgressors. They were slain, but only by the accursed, and such as had conceived an unrighteous envy against them, right? They had conceived the unrighteous envy against them. We see this happening with David and Saul, right? It's gonna give us an example. It says, "Exposed to such suffering, they endured them gloriously." So exposed to these sufferings, the righteous men endured this suffering gloriously, just like King David did. King David endured this suffering by Saul gloriously. How? The amount of times David showed mercy unto Saul. Not once, but twice, when David could have killed him, and Saul still pursued him, still had rage on him, still was bloodthirsty for King David, still had a just a unrighteous hatred against King David, but King David endured that gloriously, right?
Passed every test.
He passed every test. It says, "For what shall we say, brethren? Was Daniel cast into the den of lions by such as feared God?" So was Daniel cast into the den of lions by niggas that was holy and feared God and knew the Lord's name and was like the Wadi Howa? Let's kind of throw Daniel in the line. No, these men were unrighteous. It says, "Were Ananias and Azarias and Mishael shut up in the furnace of fire by those who observed the great and glorious worship of the Most High. far from us be such a thought. It says, who then were they that did such things? So now we're going to get into it. Who were these people that did these such things, right? It says, the hateful and those full of wickedness were roused to such a pitch of fury that they inflicted torture on those who served God with a holy and blameless purpose of heart. So these men were holy and blameless. There was no such. King Saul didn't have any kind of account to bring up against King David. This is why Saul didn't go to the priest. Saul didn't go to the judges. Saul thought to deal with it himself because he himself knew this was an unrighteous dealing. If you really felt like this man deserved to be put to death, you take it to the priest, you take it to the prophets, and you take it to the judges. Saul didn't do such things. Saul was hateful. We had these sayings in our world. Damn, you just a hating ass nigga. Why you hating? That's another
Literally.
word for jealousy. You just a hating ass nigga. Those are the people that do such things. Those are the people that persecute the righteous and the blameless, right? It says, who serve God with the holy and blameless purpose of heart. It says, not knowing that the Most High is the defender and protector of all such as with a pure conscience venerate, right? So these men, in their bloodthirsty thoughts, and when their eyes are shut and darkened by jealousy and hatred, these people themselves don't know that the Most High God is their defender, their protector, right? It says, his all excellent name, to whom be glory forever and ever. Amen. It says, but they with confidence endure these things, are now heirs. It says, now heirs of glory and honor, and have been exalted and made illustrious by God in their memorial forever. Amen. So these men who suffer such things and who endure these things now have a reputable name. They have a glorious name in the church. They have a glorious name amongst Israel. This is why we're sitting here in 2023 still talking about King David. This is why we're still talking about Yahushua. This is why we're still talking about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Because these men endured these unrighteous punishments, these unrighteous persecutions, right? When they themselves were found blameless. Remember, we keep going back to that. Jealousy doesn't need a reason to harm you. You can be wholly righteous. No blame found in you, no nothing. None of that. But guess what? All it takes is a hating ass nigga, and now you under persecution, right? But it's on you, it.
Con, man, I'm trying to find this precept to go with you. It's in Peter for sure. Okay, I think I found it. First Peter chapter 2 and verse 19. Check this out, because the whole breakdown you gave is right. Peter spoke on it. Peter spoke on it. It says, "For this is thankworthy, if a man for conscience, or if a man for conscience toward God endure grief, suffering wrongfully." This is powerful when a man can endure suffering, persecution, grief, attempts to kill him, and he don't even deserve those things. Let's keep reading. For what glory is it if when you be buffeted for your faults, you take it patiently? So Peter is hitting, this is actually, you got to have a high IQ. Now you got to have your thinking cap on, because what I'm going to explain to you, you can miss it easy. Let's say I do something wrong. The Most High God punished me for doing something wrong, and I take it right there on the chin. What glory is that? It's not really nothing to boast in or to glory in it. I deserve that. I was in sin. I was being disrespectful. I was being disobedient. I was being wicked. The Most High God punished me, and then my punishment I accepted because I was wrong. I know that I need that punishment. I just gotta accept it. That's what you're supposed to do. You don't get praised for that. Let's say my son. Let's say I have a son. He disobeys me, and I whoop his behind for that, and he accepted. because he knows that he was wrong. He don't deserve praise for that. He deserved the ass whooping.
Mhm.
What glory is it? This is what Peter is saying. But this is the next level this is the next level of spiritual maturity. Um, being somebody noble, notable, right? Honorable, just, righteous, patient, level-headed, long-suffering. This is the next level as a nation collectively. We're trying to get to this level. We're raising up, the Most High God is raising up men to get to this level. This is what you want to see. But if when ye do well and suffer for it, ye take it patiently, this is acceptable with God. Imagine you doing everything perfect. You doing everything perfect. The Most High God still chastise you. He still whoop your behind, and you take it. Hey, you take it cheerfully. Now that's something to glory in. That's something that's something that David did. He didn't do anything wrong, but he had to live his life on a portion of his life on the run from King Saul. That's why he get praised the way he do. What about Job? He was getting buffeted, tempted by Satan. I mean, boiled, smoked his whole family. I mean, all kind of heartaches. His friends turn their back on him. They just rebuking him. They not seeing his point of view, his side of the story. He took all of that, drunk it up like water, took it patiently. I mean, that's somebody who really strong. When you get in trouble and you ain't do nothing wrong, and you that the Most High God, it says that's acceptable with God. God like to see that. We like to see you do that. Even though you being perfect, you don't even look. You just take it. Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 10. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake.
Read that again.
Blessed are they that are persecuted for righteousness' sake.
There's literally people. There's going to be a time that's even more magnified, because on a smaller level, we go through this as Israelites in 2023 AD, when we teaching on the highways and byways, when we raising up righteous families, when you got brothers in these camps and these congregations. Read that again.
Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake.
We literally get persecuted. We get attacked for not doing anything wrong. What you don't Israelites are just obeying God to the best of their abilities.
That's all we're doing.
That's all we're trying to do is serve God. That's it. But we get attacked. They call us BHIs, terrorists. They slander us. They say that we're gang members. They say that we're a cult. Have we taught anything that was cult related today? No, we teaching our people how to rise to the occasion and be stronger, be better men, women, and children. But we get attacked for that. We tell brothers, look, no, I'm not doing that. I'm keeping the Sabbath. No, I'm not celebrating birthdays. I'm celebrating Passover. I'm not celebrating Christmas. I'm not celebrating Easter. I'm keeping Pentecost, Feast of Weeks. This the new moon.
Mm-hmm.
Now we terrorists. Now we're a hate group. That's what getting persecuted for righteousness' sake. That's what our Lord said. You want to finish that?
It say, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
For what?
For theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
One more time.
For theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
When you get persecuted for righteousness, for doing the things that are right, you're on the right path to get the kingdom of the Most High God. Right? I'm gonna jump right back into this, Samuel. You still holding it, right?
Samuel.
Yeah. You dropped it.
18.
Yeah. 18. Man, that's why King David was so hard. He was getting persecuted for righteousness' sake. He just saved the nation of Israel. Now people trying to kill him. It's hard out here. It's hard out here, man. What verse we at?
17.
All right, let's bring it out.
Verse 16. But all Israel and Judah loved David because he went out and came in before them.
It says he went out and came before. He was dealing with them. He actually dealt with them. See, the king, a lot of times the king, he don't get off his throne. Right? He in his big temple. He on the throne. You know, he got butlers and servants. He in here. He not out there in the streets dealing with the people like that. He not really worried about that. David was out there coming in and before them. He was amongst them. Like he wasn't sitting on his high hat. He didn't feel like he was better or more righteous or holier than thou. No, he was dealing with the people. Somebody said it's hard out here for a pen. Yes, it is. Go ahead.
Verse 17. And Saul said to David, behold, my elder daughter Merab, her will I give thee to wife. Only be thou valiant for me, and fight the Lord's battles. For Saul said, let not mine hand be upon him, but let the hand of the Philistines be upon him. Damn.
So he
plotted.
You see the devices, the craftiness. If you don't understand what just happened, King Saul, like he trying to play it cool and act like he don't want to kill King David. So he tell King David, look, I'm gonna give you my eldest daughter, Merab, and you can take her as your wife, but I just need you to fight the battles of Israel. Like whenever we got war, I need you out there, you know, and you can have my daughter. That means you're gonna be my son-in-law. You're gonna be my son. You're gonna be the son of a king, the king who's sitting on the throne. Anybody know that's it ain't no better position than that. You next up. You taken care of for life. If you're the son of the king, you financially straight, no matter what happened. But he's saying, look, I need you to fight these battles, though. You just got to be valiant and mighty. But the whole time, Saul was trying to set King David up to die in war.
That's right.
That's what his mind was at. He was trying to set King David up. Let's keep reading, though.
Verse 18, and David said unto Saul, who am I? And what is my life or my father's family in Israel that I should be son-in-law to the king?
So King David, he real modest. He said, you know, who am I? I'm a commoner. I'm nobody. I don't deserve to be your son. That's not a small thing. Like you making that seem like that's small. No, that's crazy. Nah, I don't deserve to be your son-in-law. Let's keep reading.
But it came to pass at the time when Merab, Saul's daughter, should have been given to David, that she was given unto Adhering the Mahalathite to wife.
So Saul, instead of giving Merab to King David, he gave her to another brother. When it was time to do it, he gave her to somebody else. All right, let's keep reading.
And Michal, Saul's daughter, loved David.
So Saul had another daughter. Her name was Michal, and she actually loved King David. She wanted to be with him. Let's keep reading.
And they told Saul, and the thing pleased him.
Right.
And Saul said, I will give him her.
Right. So when Saul heard that Michal loved David, he was like, okay, this is perfect. You know, I'm gonna give Michal, since I didn't give Merab to him, I'm gonna give him Michal. I'm gonna give King David Michal. Let's keep reading.
And Saul said, I will give him her, that she may be a snare to him.
That she may what?
That she may be a snare to him.
So he was still trying to set up David. Go ahead.
And that the hand of the Philistines may be against him.
Right.
Wherefore Saul said to David, thou shalt this day be my son-in-law in the one of the twain. And Saul commanded his servants, saying, commune with David secretly and say.
So look, David's still on eggs. He's still like, I'm not really feeling it. Like, bro, this is a big deal. Like, I'm not really feeling it. He's still on the fence about it. So Saul was like, look, he sent servants to go talk to David, but he made it seem like he didn't send them. He said he sent them secretly, like, hey, you know, and you know how, bro, you casually having a whole time, you already had counsel of this. The whole time he got this word is coming straight from the king, but he dressing it up like it's a normal conversation. Like, and it just came up. Like we just had, yeah, we landed here on accident. Like, yeah, bro, like, what you think about my car? I heard she like you. You ain't dealing with, like, bro, you could really be shit, bro.
Really trying to put it in his ear.
Really trying to get him to get there. Let's keep reading.
It's saying Saul commanded his servants, saying, commune with David secretly and say, behold, the king hath delight in thee, and all his servants love thee. Now therefore be the king's son-in-law. And Saul's servants spake those words in the ears of David. And David said, seemeth it to you a light thing?
So David, like, nigga, why are y'all talking like this is something light? Like this ain't a big deal. Like, bro, y'all crazy. Like,
He done already tried to kill this man.
yeah. And that's still in the back of King David's head. Like, bro, he trying to kill me. He tried to kill me. I don't know what it was. Like, this is weird.
Y'all just talking like, what? It say,
no, go ahead.
It say, so like, seemeth it to you a light thing to be a king's son-in-law, seeing that I am a poor man and lightly esteemed?
So you're like, I'm nobody. I'm literally nobody.
And the servants of Saul told him, saying, on this manner spake David. And Saul said, thus shall ye say to David, the king desireth not any dowry, but 100 foreskins of the Philistines.
So anytime you come deal with a woman, you gotta come with a dowry. That's the payment for a virgin. For a young woman who's unmarried, you come with a dowry. So the servant's like, look, bro, you ain't even gotta come with a dowry. All we need you to do is go kill some Philistines. It says how many?
100 foreskins of the Philistines.
So he said, look, if you bring Saul 100 dead Philistines, you can have her. That'll be your dowry. That'll be your payment to take his daughter. I mean, she a princess. All you got to do is kill 100 Philistines. That sounds crazy. You know how hard it. Nobody on here probably got a body. Nobody on here has probably killed one man. Nobody on here. You know, we ain't even got to take it so extreme. What you gonna say?
Without a gun.
Yeah. I'm talking about, hey, you know how it looks, shooting somebody, you know,
that's easy money.
But we talking about up close and personal. He looking at you in the eyes. We going toe to toe, scrapping.
Run down.
He trying to kill you.
Yeah.
He got a sword too.
Who flyer? Who more agile? Who quicker? Who stronger? Who got more experience? I mean, we really getting down through there. Let alone 100. What if it's a 2v1, a 3v1? David getting down through there though. And bro, Adhering, when you brought this out to me, I never really meditated on it. I'm almost certain, I haven't done this, but I'm almost certain that it'd be easier to kill somebody with a gun because they're far away, or with a bow and arrow. But when you up close and he looking at you, he on his last limb, and you put a sword through his heart, that's gonna do something different to you.
That's gonna mess with you.
That's gonna mess with you. He say no, please, and he begging for his life.
You gotta thrust him through.
You just pluck him. You just pluck him. That nigga in Sheol now.
Unique said, wait, the men come with the dowry? Yeah, the men are supposed to come to the father of the one. So let's say a man is interested in a woman. He takes a dowry or a payment to that woman's father. That's what a dowry is.
Yeah, chiefly the payment of whatever the father requires. I mean, there's payments in the law, but it's really up to the father. Like this example right here, he wanted 100 Philistines. So
she said, I've been lied to all my life. What did you think it was? What was they telling you?
You think women paying for men out here? That ain't going. That ain't how it work.
Yeah. Let's keep reading though, bro. So he said, look, you got to bring me 100 Philistines dead bodies. I need the proof. I need to count the bodies up. Let's keep reading.
It say, the king desireth not any dowry, but 100 foreskins of the Philistines, to be avenged of the king's enemies. But Saul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistines.
Read that again.
But Saul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistines.
So the whole time, the reason why Saul asked David to go kill 100 Philistines was so David could get killed in battle. So David could get killed in battle. He was trying to set him up the whole time. Let's keep reading though.
And when his servants told David these words, it pleased David well to be the king's son-in-law, and the days were not expired.
So when David heard this, because David poor, I mean, he don't got no money. He don't. How can you give the right dowry to a king? I don't got that kind of money. I'm a regular guy like you. What are you talking about? But when he say, look, the king said, just bring him some dead bodies. David was excited. It said that David was well pleased. He said, you know what? That don't sound bad.
That's it.
He said, I can
That's
do that.
it.
Never that.
That's easy.
What's up?
Just a couple heathens, bro. That's it. I got you.
Man, I wanted to do that. I was finna go do that anyway.
Right.
All right, let's keep reading because it gets good.
He said, and when his servants told David these words, it pleased David well to be the king's son-in-law, and the days were not expired. Wherefore David arose and went, he and his men, and slew of the Philistines 200 men. And David brought their foreskins and gave them in full tale to the king.
David grabbed his men and he said, we finna slide.
Yeah.
We finna bounce out with swords on us. He was supposed to just kill 100. He was supposed to just kill 100. He doubled it. Up front.
In full weight.
And full weights and measure. They're going to prove. All his men probably carrying dead bodies. You probably got horses and chariots. Who knows? He probably dropped them off in front of his house, in front of his temple. You know, that's how I envision it. David pulled up with the soldiers and just dropped the dead bodies off like, you ain't even got to come out. You ain't even got to go nowhere. Here go the proof. We pulling up on you. That's how I envision it. That's hard.
Nigga David, happy as hell.
Like,
that
shit.
Was nothing. Philistines? You could have gave him some a greater nation than them. Boy,
they weren't even giants, bro. You could have at least. It's cool. A deal is a deal.
He said it's cool. That's funny.
Cause, all right, let's keep reading.
Verse 28. I'm going to finish 27. Wherefore David arose and went, he and his men, and slew of the Philistines 200 men. And David brought their foreskins and gave them in full tale to the king, that he might be the king's son-in-law. And Saul gave him Michal, his daughter, to wife. And Saul saw and knew that the Lord was with David, and that Michal, Saul's daughter, loved him. And Saul was yet the more afraid of David, and Saul became David's enemy continually.
Oh my goodness. So when he did this, he wasn't expecting it to go like this. So then he seen that the Lord was with him even more. It says, and Saul was yet the more afraid of David, and Saul became David's enemy continually, perpetually. He was more afraid. He was like, what kind of man are you? A man of God. That's what I am. So when people think of a man of God, they think of some soft, delicate, soft-spoken man. You know, he always just, quiet, and, he give out hugs, and he'll pray over you. And, he kind of just run errands for you. And he got a regular day job, and, he kind of just, he just got this loving spirit all day, 24/7. No, it said the Lord was with David. He was a man of God, a man after God's own heart. And he just killed a whole bunch of men. And Saul was like, damn, that is a man of God right there. David was crazy. He was like that.
And it made him more scared that God was with him.
Made him more.
That's back then, bro. When you seen a man of God,
you was afraid.
You didn't want to see a man of God. Like
he got power.
You didn't want to see him.
He got
power.
Yeah,
like Like
Samuel.
Samuel.
Yeah.
He pulled up. They like,
I was
why are
gonna
you
tell
here?
Bro, I'm finna
Like, why
find
you
that.
here, bro? All right, bet.
Brother,
You don't want to see no man of God. You don't want Ezekiel walking around in your town. Hold on a minute, nigga. What are you doing here?
is it
What are you
good?
doing here, Ezekiel?
Is it good or bad?
Is this, what, come on, man.
First
You gonna
Samuel
stop? You gonna make
16.
it stop raining?
Look, I got you right here.
Go ahead.
This is First Samuel 16 and verse 4. Look at it. I'm gonna start. 16 and 4. First Samuel 16 and 4. It says, and Samuel did that which the Lord spake and came to Bethlehem. So Bethlehem was where the Lord sent Samuel because he was trying to anoint King David. He wasn't a king at the time. He was trying to anoint one of the sons of Jesse, which was David. So he sent Samuel all the way to Bethlehem. So look, Samuel shook off to Bethlehem. It says, and the elders of the town trembled at his coming. It said the elders of the town of Bethlehem, they was trembling. They didn't know what was going to happen. Like, damn, have we been sinning? Is it idols around here that we don't know about? They scratching, they getting uncomfortable. They like,
Bro,
They trying to
They tryna-
check all the stops.
they trying to go make sure the city is in righteousness.
bro, the spirit of Yahweh was on Samuel. You don't want that's what everybody don't get. Like the way they picture God now is totally wrong. Like you really don't. Everybody think like, I just kind of want to chill with God and have fun. Nah, bro, you kind of don't. You don't want God in your town.
One mess up, that's gonna cost you.
Oh damn, you sin? That nigga evaporate. God damn, boy. Oh
Hey.
no.
Bro,
Damn it.
That nigga evaporate.
look, man, stop going back and forth in the comments. You taking away from the lesson, man. Get off the sister neck, sister.
Oh, James
Just
1.
being patient, sister.
I need to get James 1 out of here.
He acting wild right now. He been on it for like 10 minutes.
All right, let me get him. I'm gonna put him in timeout for a split second. We gonna get you on the dowry. Give us 1 second. Give us 1 second. Go ahead. All
He
right.
came in here for smoke.
Kind like, bro, you ain't trying to be in contact like that with the most. You just want to keep his commandments and you kind of just chill, bro.
Stay out the way.
Like you stay out the way.
Don't try and be a superhero. You stay out of the way. Be cool around here.
That's it.
Let me read the scripture again all the way through.
Go ahead.
This is 1 Samuel 16 and 4. And Samuel did that which the Lord spake and came to Bethlehem. And the elders of the town trembled at his coming and said, comest thou peaceably? And he said, peaceably. I am come to sacrifice unto the Lord. So sanctify yourselves and come with me to the sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons and called them to the sacrifice. He said, you come in peaceably, bro? Lord? They're like, yeah, it's peace this time.
Man.
Thank God.
Hey, weight lifted off of me.
Yeah, it's peace this time. You good. Hey, make sure you clean. You can do the sacrifice. You're like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
All praises to the Most High. Come to style peaceably. So, you want to grab that for the sister?
Yeah. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
Real quick, if a man entice a young woman to be his wife, and he didn't really go through the father, he didn't really, he didn't do things how he was supposed to necessarily according to the custom, you didn't go straight to the father and get his approval. Let's read what the law says.
It says, if her father utterly refused to give her unto him,
like, man, I'm not really trying to give her to you. I really don't want to. I'm upset. You defiled my possession. This is my daughter. I had plans on giving my daughter to this man.
Right.
For this much money. I had plans to keep my daughter for another 4 years so I could use her around my house to take care of my vineyards so I could make this much increase.
Right.
I wasn't ready to give my daughter yet. I still needed to teach her certain things. Or, hey, I had plans to give her to this well-known, wealthy family over here. And you just, I'm pissed. What are you doing? Who are you? What does the law say?
It says, if her father utterly refused to give her unto him, like the brother just explained, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins.
So he got to pay the price. Now you got to pay the dowry. So now this is really for the father's protection, because a woman is valuable. Your daughter is valuable. She works for you. That's literally your possession. You own her. That's your daughter. But a man will pay money or that value or that dowry, and then she becomes his possession. You just ruined his whole possession. So this is his security, or what would you say, his insurance. Just in case something like this happens, the father has an insurance over the daughter. Just like when you go to the store and you buy something, or damn, you buy them something expensive, jewelry. You'll get a warranty on it, and look, if something mess up, you can bring it back and they'll give you your money. They'll make it right. They'll give you a new one. This is your father's warranty over the daughter. If somebody just takes his possession and he didn't know nothing about it, look, he's still insured. He still has that warranty, and you got to pay that dowry. You got to pay that payment, right? That's all I got on that, though. That's all I got on that.
So that's the manner of it.
So I'm gonna actually pull this up in the blue letter real quick. I'm gonna share my screen. Bear with me. I'm gonna pull it up in a blue letter too.
I don't know where they got that. The woman pay the dowry for the man.
Yeah, that's not how the woman don't buy the husband.
Yeah, that sounds freaky.
You can't possess a man. That's not how it goes. It's Exodus 22 and 17. In the blue letter, you're gonna see for yourself what it say when you go into this word, just in the Hebrew. So you go down there to dowry, mohar. Mohar. It's crazy. I didn't know that was the word for it. But it says outline of biblical usage. So when you read the outline of biblical usage, all this means, when you see this word dowry, this is how it's used in the Bible. The purchase price for wife, wedding money. So this is what you would use to, get your wife. You'll pay the father, a price for a wife, That's all it's going into. But yeah, I just wanted to pull that up so, the sister could get edified real quick. We finished the chapter yet?
We almost.
We got one more verse. Out. I don't know. I'll praise it.
Book of 1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 30. Then the princes of the Philistines went forth, and it came to pass after they went forth that David behaved himself more wisely than all the servants of Saul, so that his name was much set by. He was known for being wise.
That's what it said. I can't multitask.
I got it. Then the princes of the Philistines went forth, and it came to pass after they went forth that David behaved himself more wisely than all the servants of Saul, so that his name was much set by.
Hey, he just was waxing more and more mighty, gaining more and more love, more and more respect. Right? People wanted to follow King David. That's the kind of man you want to be, where you don't have to force people to follow you, where they willfully want to follow you. You don't got to force someone to die for you, where they willingly want to die for you. James 1:1. What's going on with you, bro? You got a spirit on you. He said, I am sorry that y'all are man pleasers and not servants of the Most High. What did we do to you? It's all right. Adhering, you got anything you want to bring out?
I was gonna tell that nigga to prove it.
You just gonna pull him up. Prove how we
Tell that
men.
nigga to prove all things.
Now we in sin. He said so.
Yeah, he said we in sin, so we in sin now. Like, we gotta just deal with that. Whatever.
What's his beef? What's his beef? Why is he upset?
It's the first time I'm seeing
Bro,
this
I
guy.
look in the comments, he all at the sister neck. Like she trying to get edified. He like says learn in silence. She can't ask the question?
Oh, I didn't even read his messages. I just put him in
You
timeout.
scroll up, you'll see him
No,
tripping on the sister.
I put it in timeout, so I can't see it no more. See, look.
Oh, okay. Bro,
I should have read it first, but hey, I'm glad, brothers, Shawab, melodic tunes, y'all had the sister back. All praise to the Most High. Yeah, he coming with weird vibes though.
I just want to know, why is he upset? What is
like it's order. Like it's like he was trying to flex his muscles on the sister. Like she trying to learn, brother. She ain't spazzing out or coming at brothers or none of that.
He said the women gotta learn in silence, huh?
that nigga ain't never been here before. Never been here before. Don't know what's going on.
There you go. Did he pull out that scripture?
James, what's your beef, bro?
He pulled out all of the scriptures, bro.
He pulled them out.
He wasn't even listening to the lesson. He was on net. He was tripping.
Oh man.
Why he not typing no more?
That's why I thought him be taken away from the lesson. He right, sister should learn in silence, but brother, you taken away from the lesson at this point.
He don't understand what that's going into.
Right, he tripping, bro.
If you think it's off for a sister to ask a question and you like a lot of understanding, and she's 16, she's not married. If you using that scripture, let her ask her husbands at home. You just got to know the situation a little bit. Hey, get Sirach 11:7. It's real simple stuff that we got to go through with brothers, because you don't even know. It's all it is. It was a misunderstanding. That's all.
It says, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 11 and verse 7. Blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first, then rebuke.
Look, before you start rebuking a sister, understand first. Understand a little bit first. That's going to help you, That's all.
I got a precept.
Come
on. Damn.
He probably pulled out that he don't usurp authority over a man. He pulled that one out too.
That's what he was getting at, bro.
That's how he
was nobody. We would have checked that if that was what was going on, brother. We're not. Man,
yeah, that would have really got checked. But this is Ecclesiastes 5:1. It says, "Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider that they do. For they consider not that they do evil." So when you come into places like this, bro, just be more ready to hear, bro. I mean, I don't know. I seriously still am confused on why he has a problem with what's going on. Like,
bro, I'm gonna tell you, I was watching the whole time. She had asked about the dowry. Then she said, "Wow, I've been lied to my whole life." She was going into how she never knew that. The brother was already at throats. He was dagger. He was pulling out swords. I'm like, bro, this ain't even the time for that right now.
I know, and I'm trying to figure out why.
He must have. He probably just learned those precepts.
He trying to flex his muscles, like, be quiet, woman.
It's a good day today, What's going on, brother? Brother over there all pissed off and angry. We willing to talk to him, I wouldn't mind pulling him up, but he not here no more. Look like, I mean, I don't know if he only get down like that with women, or
I think so. You know what stood out? He didn't post no precepts before that. Soon as she said, "I never knew that," he was on bumpers. He had so many precepts at that point. Like, was you watching the lesson, bro, or did you just come in here to beef with women?
Bro, if he actually knew us and what we stood for, to be honest, me personally, I don't. If a woman is married, I don't want to teach her. I'm not trying to teach her. I rather ask her husband. I've even made disclaimers. If we teach something that's against your husband, you submit to your husband's doctrine. To hell with me. Don't listen to what I'm talking about. Go with your husband's doctrine. But like Mahar explained, sister, she's been around. She's 16. She doesn't have a spiritual head. What I mean by spiritual head is she has a father, but he's probably more than likely not in the truth, right? She doesn't have a husband. So she what? Okay, so if she go back home, who's she gonna ask questions to? Cause I'm not there, Mahar not there, and Malachi not there. She can't ask questions, right?
You know
Like
what?
real quick, Yashiyahu said, "Bro, just like attacking women, but not men," and that's kind of the vibes I'm getting.
I felt that vibe.
Where like, you know, where all the scriptures at? Where all the smoke at? Where all that at? We down for the smoke. We not really nervous about it, but before the smoke, let's just get some understanding first. What's going on? Why are you so angry, bro? Anger rests in the bosom of fools. You on her, this nigga on her keyboard warring. Like that's finna change her from stop coming in here asking questions. It's not, bro. But hey, like Mahar said, that nigga probably just learned them precepts and now he on fire and whatever. I don't know. That's madness.
Hey, Salaki King, I got a question. What's you know what the precept if it's like if she don't have a head or she don't have a husband, but her head is the church.
That sound like Timothy.
It do sound like Timothy.
Sound like Timothy.
I think I might be able to find it.
Yeah, because you don't want to
Yeah,
put
it
me
is.
on
I
it.
think. I think it's First Timothy 5.
I never checked it.
You see.
This is the chapter.
Yeah, First Timothy go over widows in detail. It's a good chapter.
Even if we can't find the exact thing, I know it's definitely the understanding is there because when Christ died, because the scriptures don't go over his father's death, they don't go over Joseph's death. When Christ died, Christ gave his mother Mary over into another man, not to marriage, but for her to have a head. He said, mother your son your mother. Basically, he gave her over to him so she could have a head. Um, Another thing with Paul, because Paul's the head over a lot of churches, and Paul speaks about have I not become your father? Basically, have I not begotten you through the gospel? Right. So there's hierarchy in things, and if somebody doesn't have a head, the church can definitely be somebody's head. It can be a woman's head, it can be a man's head if he needs guidance, if she needs guidance, so on and so forth. Going to that scripture and isolating that verse is terrible. It's terrible to isolate that verse in the way he did it, especially without context of who she is. Because now you just telling her to be on her own. You just that's what you kind of just telling her. I know you're a 16-year-old girl, but just kind of sit back and chill. Don't ask questions.
Don't learn nothing. Don't ask.
Don't learn nothing. You just, goddamn it, you just sit there and shut the hell up. All right, woman.
You got the wrong understanding. Be quiet.
Right. That's
Women
madness.
love that.
That's madness. And now, Buddy been vanished like the Avatar.
He
That
said we
nigga
was
gone.
then he bear false witness. He said, "Man, y'all respecters of persons. What did we do?
Who did we even respect?" But he's making an assumption. He has a presupposition of something. He probably a camp hater.
Oh, he didn't say that we was a respecter of persons. He said
Man pleasers.
He said that y'all are man pleasers and not that's crazy. That's a crazy accusation. He said, and not servants of the Most High. All right, man. Okay, brother. And you the guy, probably, huh?
Hey, he tried to dig
Hey,
in.
And you the guy.
He said we not servants of the Most High. That's crazy.
he the nigga we need to be following. And y'all remember, we was just going over jealousy. Niggas get jealous of shit that they can't do. I'm just be honest. We got a platform. He more than likely don't. We teaching and he don't like it. Like, nah, bro, y'all shouldn't be doing that. La la la. Yeah,
Probably
bro, just sit
it
back
probably
and
hit
chill.
the spirit, huh?
Probably. Sit back and chill, bro. Don't nobody know you here. Y'all know we pretty friendly. We friendly people. You know what I'm saying? We ain't know nothing. Talk to y'all, we chill. When people come in here with weird vibes, just like, nah,
Hey,
I'm not really dealing with that.
look at what Shawab said. He said, Bro took his own words lightly.
He said,
He's from the UK. He killed me with the UK slang, but he said he took his own words lightly.
Bro, he came up here and niggas said niggas was men pleasers. Niggas
He's
was not servants of the Most High.
what deep, bro.
we over here talking about David and being righteous and
Bringing
going
out,
through persecution.
bringing
You know
out
what I'm
the
saying?
law.
Yeah. And we man pleasers, I guess. When Cyrax says, let me get it real quick. Cyrax says, praise famous men. What you want us to do, brother? We talking about David now. We man pleasers. Is that it? I'm confused because Cyrax, who I believe is more wiser than you, said praise famous men for what they do, right?
I
But
don't know, bro. What buddy got going on, man? You got anything else you want to bring out though?
nah, man, just need to have a good day, man. It's the Shabbat. Niggas is tweaking like already. I'm outside. The air feel good. Come on, brother. I got these last precepts. You ready?
Yes, sir.
1 Corinthians 15:58. It says, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord, right? Even if you're being persecuted for righteousness' sake, even if you're going through hell and you're blameless, just endure it. Endure with cheerfulness, right? Because the Most High God is your protector. Galatians 6:9. Let us not be weary in well doing. It says, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Right? So don't stop enduring. Continually endure. You're gonna reap what you sow. If you sow righteousness, you shall reap a righteous reward. It's on you.
The last precept being Sirach chapter 43 and 30. It says, when you glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as you can, for even yet will he far exceed. And when you exalt him, put forth all your strength, and be not weary, because you can never go far enough. Be not weary, or don't be tired of serving the Most High God. And you can't go too far with that. You know how you can go too far? You can drink too much water. You know, you can eat too much food. You can talk too much. You can do a lot of stuff too much. But you can't praise the Most High God enough. And if you find yourself in a situation where you can't praise the Most High God, if you can't go up a prayer with him, if you can't Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahweh Shah, if you can't say all praises to the Most High God Yahweh, if you can't just say Khan at the top of your voice and it not be weird, look, it's time to start changing your circle up. If you got unrighteous people near to you all the time, it's time to start removing those people and putting righteous brothers and sisters in them spots, man, them positions, so y'all can wax mighty together, so y'all can stay in the spirit together. You know, iron sharpened iron. So a man sharpened the countenance of his friend. Hey, y'all know I love doing these Sabbath classes. I love how proactive and active brothers and sisters are in the chat. It's really like we got our own little family. You know, I feel like I know some of these brothers personally. Shawab, Hebrew Daughter, Ahmad, you know, Unique. Some of these melodic tunes. He in the meditation station now. Some of these brothers and sisters, man. You know, I feel like I met y'all in person. You know, a handful of times. Right, Unique. That's a little sis. He was wrong. He was doing way too much. But hey, man, it was really a pleasure. I hope y'all have a blessed Shabbat. A beautiful Shabbat, man. And we're gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God Yahweh by Hashem, Hamashiach Yahweh Shah. Until next time, Shalom.
Shalom.
Khan, Shalom.